guys, welcome back. Another little experiment today. Just put my gloves on, using the same gloves from my previous pour. Saving some plastic, yay. Now, my Vallejo pouring medium arrived yesterday, finally. It's the new thicker one. It's got the red dot on the front there. I actually don't notice any difference in the thickness between that one and the one I was using previously. Looks the same to me, smells the same to me. So anyway, I'm going to use it today. I'm not using a lot of it because it's expensive, but I'm just using it in my homemade pouring medium. So I have got, as I have been doing previously quite often, 3 parts Floetrol, 1 part PVA glue, half a part of the pouring medium, and this time it's Vallejo. Sometimes I use Global, sometimes I use Liquitex. I think you can use whatever you like. I don't really think it makes a difference. And then 1/4 part water. This mix is quite thin, so whether or not I actually needed that water will remain to be seen. But it is thinner than what I normally would use. So that's it in there. I'll see if I can maybe show you. Normally I like to have a little bit of a mound where the paint hits the other paint in the cup, but I'm not really getting a mound. It's not going, like it's not making a dip when it hits there. It's just disappearing. So a little bit thinner than what I would normally use. It's still, well, kind of creeps up. If you've seen my other consistency video where I used the pink paint, when I did that, it stayed separated. This one, it's slowly creeping together. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. So I have got Global paints. That one is just green, light green it's called. This one is Deep Sea, which is a dark greeny blue. I've got black on the end. And then this one is the Marina, which is a pale blue, bluey green. I've gone for all shades of bluey greens today, except for this one, which is just green. And then I have turquoise as well. So basically all bluey greens, shades of blues and greens. Now I have got in my cups 90 grams of pouring medium and 30 grams of paint. So 3 ounces pouring medium, 1 ounce paint. So it's 3:1 ratio. And as I said, it's a little bit thinner than what I would normally use. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer my paints into the cups rather than pour from up high. Because when I pour from up high, the paint goes straight through. And I'm trying to get layers, so I will just pour down inside of the cup. And today I'm using the treadmill belt silicone. And when I use this one, I do 1 drop per 30 grams or 1 drop per ounce. So as I said, we've got, what did I say, 90 and 30 is 120. Did I say that before? 90 and 30 is 120, so 4 ounces, 4 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't squeeze too hard because you might get a whole heap out. And I won't do any in the black, just because the black's my most dense, opaque colour. I'm just going to go around once. Is that twice? 1, 2. Once or twice. You just don't want to mix it too much. Right. Just getting my little cups from over on my new storage system. I'm pouring from my shed. Oh, sorry, not my shed, my converted garage. Yay! Into my studio. So very excited to be pouring in here for the first time today. Well, the second pour, but it's the first day that I'm pouring in my new studio. Okay, so I'm going to layer the paints in twice. So it still pours really nicely. But if I had to try, let's try it. If I had to try and, see, it's kind of sinking through. So I'm just going to do this. and layer. That way I know I'm going to get my layers on top without the paints sinking through. Because once they sink through, they're starting to mix and blend, and you've got more of a tendency to get muddy colours by doing that. So let's just do this way. Now I did contemplate having these two next to each other, but I think they're too similar, so I'm going to do that and break them up, because I do like light, dark. And two colours that are very similar on top of each other is not good. Always try to have some sort of separation between your colours, a different shade, a different colour. But be aware of what colours make mud and what colours will turn into something else. You know, if you want red, don't put red next to white, because you're going to get pink. So just be aware of what colours can go next to other colours. And I think layering them like this is a really quite an easy way of getting your colours all in there without blending too much. They just sit on top. A little bit will go through, obviously, and blend, but the majority of the paint will sit on top. And hopefully that will give me a nice outcome. And doing this, it may actually work for my swipes as well. If you've been watching my videos, you'll know I'm working on my own pre-mixed paint. But I'm just trying to find a mix that will work nicely for flip cups, which I have. I've worked one out. It works great for flip cups. Beautiful cells, beautiful pour, but it's too thick for a swipe. So I'm just working on that to try and get a consistency that will be great for both. I don't really want to say to people, well, yes, you can buy this, but you need to add water if you want to swipe with it. I don't really want to do that. I'd rather come up with one paint mix that will do everything. There's no point having a pre-mixed paint if people have to add things to it. I don't believe that's an option. So I will just have to keep experimenting until I can do it. If I can't do it, well, I can't do it, but I'll try. Because I have so many people that are struggling with consistency that would like to get better with their pours and are struggling, so I'll see if I can help out. Okay, let's flip these babies. Splurged a bit. Get my cups out of the way. I've got a big thick sheet of plastic over my table, which is easy to wipe down. It just comes on a big roll. It's like a plastic tablecloth that you can buy from the hardware store. I've got one on top of the table. I've also got one under the table on the floor to catch any drips that I might spill. Easy cleanup. Okay, so I'll just give that a minute. I wonder what the Vallejo is going to be like, whether it's going to add anything to the mix or whether it's not going to be as good as what I would normally use. I'm still not sure whether adding a pouring medium, a bought pouring medium, is of any benefit. Because normally I would use Floetrol and glue. Floetrol is just a little bit too thin on its own. I find I have to thicken it with some glue. So whether or not the pouring medium actually is a benefit, we'll see. All right, let's do this. Okay, very fast little flips they were. Move my cups over. Right, let's have a look. How's it looking? Cells straight away as usual, so that's good. And I am going to not torch. I need to resist the urge to torch because I don't like the cell shape after I've torched. As I've said before, the heat melts the paint. It, well, melts. And your nice round cells sort of go all wobbly because the heat has melted your paint. So let's just start tilting. That lovely green under there. I'd rather torch afterwards, once I've got coverage. Because once you've got really lovely cells like this, you don't need to torch to get more cells. You've got enough. I don't think that you need to torch to get any more. You want a bit of background. You want to be able to see your paint colours. You don't want just all cells. Well, I don't anyway. Turn that around. So I can see that my mix is thinner already because even with that little bit of tilting, my cells are starting to stretch. So maybe adding that quarter part water, that rhymes, quarter water, is not such a good idea. But in saying that, you do need your paint to be at a nice flowing consistency so it does move well across your surface. Just back to this corner. Put my glove there just to stop that from all going over the edge. There we go, catch it. So moving really well, as you can see. Just going to move back actually so these ones aren't so stretched. Okay, and that's it. I think that's pretty good, pretty good. Nice big cells. I can't see straight off the bat any benefit from the Vallejo, but who knows, who knows. Now I'll show you the one that I did earlier today with the thicker mix. Oops. That's it there. That was with the treadmill, no it wasn't, that's the coconut milk hair serum. So pretty cells. That one's the treadmill, the slightly thinner mix. Thicker mix with the coconut milk. Thinner mix with the treadmill. So with the treadmill, there's lots of smaller ones. You can see lots of little tiny cells. The thicker mix with more glue, you don't get as many of those little tiny cells. So I probably prefer this one with the cell shapes than that one. What do you think? Just going to put this back before I drop it. There we go. Okay, so this is really nice up this end. This hasn't got as much interest in it. It's a little bit more of the green shade. This light blue marina colours popping through here. So now that we've poured, I will torch it because I don't have to worry about my cells losing their shape when I tilt it again, because I'm not going to tilt it again. I'm just going to pop some bubbles and see if any cells want to come up. There may be some little ones that come up, which is fine. I don't mind some little ones popping up. I like a variety of sizes. See, these little tiny ones here have popped up. But my mix is quite thin, so the silicone oil has come to the surface pretty much straight away because it's so thin. In a thicker mix, it takes a bit longer for the cells to come up. So what do you think? Do you have a preference? I'm thinking I do prefer the thicker mix. It's so hard because you do one experiment and you think, oh, I must change one little thing, but then you need to change your coconut milk hair serum as well, because the other one had a thicker mix and the coconut milk. This one's a thinner mix and it's got the treadmill. So you're just experimenting constantly. I do enjoy experimenting, but at some stage I just need to pick something and run with it. But that's quite nice. These other cells that have come up, they've started growing a little bit. See those little ones there? Nice and round. But I think for me, for my flip cups, it's a little bit on the thin side. So when I mix up my batch of pouring medium again, this one, I'll do the same, but I won't put that quarter of water in. I think that'll be a better outcome. Okay, take you in for a close-up. If I can move my phone. Okay, that's about as close as I can get. What do you think? Do you like that one? Do you prefer the other one with the coconut milk hair serum? Okay, I will mix up a batch of pouring medium and not use the water and see how we go next time. And I think I'll put the coconut milk hair serum in it. All right, I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now.